Well, this is a video on weekly settlements. It's coming on Friday instead of Saturday because Friday's a holiday for the market. It's Good Friday. The theme today is Mexico, at least visually. The picture you see in the background there was taken around 1977, approximately, in the Great Chihuahuan Desert, Mexico. Back in those days, it was a really hard life for the people who lived there. But a very interesting time in my own life. And the shirt I'm wearing is and I'm mispronouncing it, Guadalajara, which is a traditional. Let me stand up a bit so you can see this. Very floral. Would be what would be considered a formal shirt. Anyway, and I bought this about that same time. So the shirt I'm wearing is what 50 years, 40 something years old, 50 years old. Haven't worn it much, of course, in the last 30 or 40 years, but it's the only bit of clothing that I bought down there at that time that I still have. So relive a memory. Okay, well, my account has settled, so it's time to discuss that and to talk about placing new orders. Like I say, I would usually do this on Saturday, but the holiday made this week a short week. Okay, well, let's look at the transaction set after the settlement. So let me share that screen with you. Got to push the right button. Oh, okay. I had 24, I sold 24 550 put contracts and received $780 for those. Remember, when these are sold, they were sold on Monday. I got this premium up front, regardless of whether the options are exercised or not. That went directly into my account. So in the settlement, I had 2,400 shares of HBI put on me at $5.50 a share, and the current market price is hovering around $5, a few pennies less. And I got an average of 32.5 cents per share in premium. So to break even, I need at least 20 cents premium on the call options that I will sell. Now, let me clarify something. When I say break even, that's not totally accurate. That will cover my spread, which means it will cover any capital loss. I still have a free cash flow, because free cash flow is an ongoing process, not a single transaction. So when I say I'm breaking even, I'm talking about on this round trip, that is the put and the call. If I get 20 cents a share, then I'm actually 2 cents ahead of the capital loss. But the free cash flow continues. And let me explain that. See, it's open ending. It doesn't end. Every week I get more premium income. So the way you establish the amount of free cash flow you have is what it costs to replace it. And so basically, we're talking about unrealized capital gains or losses as opposed to realized capital gains or losses. So basically, that just gives you free cash to use. If you were to close out your account, then everything comes to a stop. And at that point in time, the spinning wheel stops. No longer any free cash flow. Everything's settled. But because I'm doing this every week, regardless of the underlying stock I use, I've been using HBI for over a year now, mainly. And while it's not a good thing to have all your eggs in one basket, that's where I'm at on this now. And with the economy like it is, if I can break even on my account value, I've done extremely well. And I'm close to that. So anyway, I don't want to labor that point. So anyway, these options were exercised, and now I've got to place orders for new ones. And so this is my account after the settlement. It consists of 98% of the stock that was just put on me. So those losses are unrealized losses. Here again, don't want to labor that point. But a lot of people don't do this because they look at their portfolio value and see it change up and down with the market. Well, it'd be the same way if you had any other investment based on the market. If it's marked to the market, it's going to go up and down with the market. What makes this so important to me is that it throws off free cash. Free meaning that it's free to use elsewhere. But first, let's get down to business. I've also bought 100 shares of HBI $4.95, I believe, which helped lower my average cost down to $5.48 from $5.50. Not a big deal, but I will be covering 25 call contracts, and that's significant because the number of contracts I can sell will determine the amount of cash that's thrown off, amount of income. So let's do that now. Now, I want to go with the $5 call. The premium I need on this is 20 cents or better. Now, the trading pattern on this trading range has been anywhere from 480 to 550. There's a lot of day trading, short selling going on, so it tends to go down to where it is approximately now. And then people rush in to cover their shorts and it pops back up. So I'm going to ask 25 cents a share. Now, I may have to adjust this once the market opens if it goes in the wrong direction. And if I were to do that, if it goes down, I would more likely change my strike to 450. I'd hate to do that, but because then I got a dollar spread to cover. Or I could lower the ask. I don't know what y'all do if it comes to that, but hopefully this will get filled sometimes on Monday. So we're going to review this order. You can see that the premium would be, if it's filled at 25 cents a share, $625 in addition to the $780 that I collected last week, or this week. This is really throwing me off with the holiday, this being Friday instead of Saturday. So okay, so that's done. So there we go. All right. Anyway, you got to remember that I'm not an investor. I care nothing about the stock. I'm interested in income it can produce. And what I'm getting in terms of income percentage-wise is so much better than the dividends, if I can find a dividend-paying stock. So that's the way it is. Of course, the market's not great right now. For me to really make significant money, profit, I need to have some of these options I sell not exercised. And lately that's been rare. Historically, over time, it runs about 30% of the contracts I sell will never be exercised. And of course, an unexercised contract that I sell is the premium is 100% profit. Of course, that's lumped in with all the other transactions. So, but it brings it up to the point where I'm actually gaining in portfolio value as well as the having the income coming in. But I haven't had much of that lately. I don't know when it'll happen again. We're going into a recession. We're just now beginning to see the layoffs that will come and will increase. As people get laid off, or they know people who got laid off and they're afraid they'll get laid off, they're going to cut back on their spending tremendously. So you'll see retail sales decline, profits, margins decline. It's a recession. Hey, in my lifetime, I've seen a bunch of them. The worst being in 1976. That was a killer. But at any rate, this one hopefully is not going to be as bad as the one in 2009 from the housing bust. Although we haven't seen the big break in housing yet, and I think that may come. That's another reason people stop spending, is because when they're upside down on their mortgages, they can't use their home as an ATM to refi or have a revolving line of credit against the equity because they won't have any. So we'll just have to see how it goes. At any rate, I want to stay in the game because for two reasons. It produces the income, and I want to be there when it does break out, so I can benefit from that as well. All right, I think that's pretty well covered it. If you have questions, put them in the descriptions and I'll do my best to answer them. And other people may have similar questions and will benefit from your question and my answers. At least I hope so. Also, down in the description are various links, many of them to my website, which is extensive. I cover my trading activity in detail for the last 2 years. So if you want to learn to do this, that's an education right there. If you want to learn about options in general, there's a link to Amazon entry for a book written by Michael Sincere. What a name. Love it. Which covers, it's a general coverage of what options are all about. In the edition that I've read, which has been 15 years ago, and I think he's had some revisions since then, which I haven't seen. But in the revision that I read, or version, there was about a 16 page section on selling option contracts short, which is what I do. Those 16 pages have been so valuable. And there's tons of books on trading options, but I don't trade options. I create and sell the options. I create them by selling short, meaning I sell something I don't have. All right. I'll leave you with that intriguing thought. And that boy in that background picture drawing water out of that desert well for his cattle, he would be about 65 years old now, if he's alive at all. I hope so. It was a hard life back there in rural Mexico. All right, have a good day. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Click on notify if you want to be notified of new videos. And if you like a particular video, hit like. It helps me shape the content. All right, well, have a good Easter or weekend, however you want to look at it. And we'll hit it again on Monday. I've been very fortunate in that I've had a very interesting life. My first job after college was teaching at a local high school. And as I was talking to my students and digressing, as my habit is to do, I was talking about all my jobs, and the young girl in the back of the classroom raised her hand and she asked, "Mr. Sando, are you 100 years old?" Well, I certainly felt old after that question.